Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Mr. Payne bringing you translations of exponential functions. We study many types of exponential functions. Today we will study what makes a shift along the axes. Table f of x, 2 raised to the x power. I'd like you to fill in these tables. I know you don't have a calculator with you at home. You'll practice typing them into class. And all it is 2 caret x. The caret button, don't forget, looks like the V. So let's go ahead and put in our tables. Negative 2.25, negative 1.5, 0, 1, 2, 4, and 3, 8. Writing these tables down on your paper so then you can go ahead and graph these exponential functions on your own. G of x, 2 raised to the x plus 5th power. Negative 2, 5.25, negative 1, 5.5, 0, 6, 1, 7, 2, 9. Table h of x is 2 raised to the x minus 6 power. Negative 2, negative 5.75. Negative 1 is negative 5.5. 0 is negative 5. 2 is negative 4. I'm sorry. Go back real quick. I gotta do 1. Forgot 1. This is negative 4. 2 is negative 2. 3 is 2. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and graph these so that you can talk about what actually happens in what shift. I'm going to graph these using 3 different colors. The first color is just going to be plain old gray so that you can tell where our base function is. Our f of x are equals to 2x, and then we can see what happens after that. So f of x will be in gray. Negative 2 is 0.25, so I'm going to go over negative 2 and I'm going to put a dot. It's really imperative that the dot here it's close to the x-axis, but it's not right on it. The next one is 0.5, and it's hard for my stylus to get very accurate, so we're going to do the best that I can. And I'm going to continue going on. It's 0, 1, then 1, 2, 2, 4, 3, 8. Now when you draw your exponential function here, let's make sure it's a slight curve. Do the best that you can. And it still has arrows because it keeps going. Notice that this is an exponential growth going from left to right. It's increasing. Let's go ahead now. I'm going to change colors. I'm going to do it in red. And I'm going to do g of x. G of x is negative 2, 5.25. So negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just a little bit above it. And then in half. Then 1. Should be at 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 7. 2, 9. And unfortunately, 2, 9 is going to be way up here off your screen a little bit. And the same thing goes for that guy. And the last one I'm going to do is in green, the h of x. So negative 2, and it's negative 5.75. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just above 6 a little bit. Then 5.5. And then right at negative 5. 1, negative 4. 2, negative 2. 3, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. notice that all these are exponential growths. They're all going in, the curves all look exactly the same. However, I want you to pay attention what happens when k is added to the exponent. Your k, what happens to k when it's added to the exponent? What that means is, what happened to this red guy up here? Because it was 2 raised to the x plus 5. What did that plus 5 make it do? And then in the green, this is 2 times raised to the x minus 6 power. What did this minus 6 make it do? So that's what we're paying attention to. Is see if you can come up with a rule for each one of those. Now we're going to talk about horizontal shifts. So we're going to look at f of x again, which is 2 to the x power. We already have this written down. Let's write it again, though. Negative 2.25, negative 1.5, 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 4, and 3/8. G of x is 2 raised to the 3x power. So it's going to be negative 1, negative 8, 0, 0, 1, 8. 2 to the 1.5 in x is negative 5, negative 6.3, 0, 0, 8 to 10.1. K is negative x. K of x is raised to the negative x power, 2 to the negative x power. To the negative x power. That's going to give me negative 3, 8, negative 2, 4, negative 1, 2, 0, 1, 1.5, 2, negative, 2 is 0.25. So let's go ahead and graph each one of these. And I'm going to do this in separate colors. Once again, my base is going to be in gray. So I'm going to go ahead and graph my base function of f of x. Remember, yours is going to be a lot more accurate because you're not using a stylus and doing it on the iPad. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make sure yours is a little bit neater than mine. There's your base function of f of x. The next function I'm going to do in red. It's going to be my g of x. So be careful with your g of x because it is a little tricky. Negative 1, negative 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 0, 0. 1, positive 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just want you to notice what happens when I go ahead and I multiply that exponent now 3 times x on that 2. So that's going to give me 2 raised to 3 times x. The next function I'm going to do is 1/3 times x. So negative 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0, 0, 8, 10.1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Noticing that it's the same but very gradual. It's not nearly as steep as the 3 times x. So that's 2 raised to the 1/3 x. It's very gradual. And the last one I'm going to do in purple, and that is when I multiply by a negative x. So I'm going to have negative 3, 1, 2, 3, 8, Negative 2, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 1, 2. 0, 1. 1.5. Notice what happens between this purple line and the gray line. So I want you to pay attention to the purple line and the gray line and see what the difference is between the two. Make sure you try the observation questions on each one of these note sheets that we worked on today and write your WSQ. We'll go into further discussion with these when we do our practice problems in class.